My name is Michael Toll, and I'll be introducing you to some key players in this amazing organization who I had the opportunity to personally meet in their head offices this summer. I met Mr. Paul Iber there, who's now the managing director of the organization here, and I was truly impressed, not only with their vision, but with their rapid growth. This company that you're going to be finding out about tonight has experienced growth like I've never seen before, and the reason for it is greed. But not greed from the company. Greed from the humanity which is out in the consumer market. They have discovered and created a business model second to none. And tonight I'm going to have the opportunity to see all the detail about this again because it's extremely detailed and interesting. But more importantly than this, I want to, before we get started, I have 3 things I need to do, my order of business. First, I'm going to ask you, if you do have a mobile phone, is anybody here who doesn't have a phone? Could you please turn your phone on silent because it could interfere with our electronic equipment. We have a presentation later on. I would really appreciate if you do that and help me out right now. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is, if you're sitting on this side of the room, this side of the room is charming. But this side of the room is charmed. Now, what would you rather have? Be charming or be charmed? You're going to find out tonight that by the simple gesture of you meeting a person and all the things you have in common with them, you're going to find out how you can turn not only friendships into better friendships, but friendships into gold. I know some of you came here tonight with an agenda, and some of you don't even have a clue what the program agenda is for tonight. So I'm going to ask you to understand that Lioness is about people. And serving the people in the organization, which I was very proud to join and become a member last night. It's taken this long for the company to get set up and get all of its legal infrastructure all sorted out. It's perfect now, and I was very, very happy to be one of the first people in the UAE last night to sign up. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm going to ask you, if you're in the charm section of the room, here's a challenge. There's people in the room here that you've never met before. So I'm going to ask you, if you're on this side of the room, to gently stand up right now. Rise up out of your chair. That's right. Stand up, please. Yeah. I want you to look on this side of the room. You're the charm side. I'm going to ask you to stand up right now. Okay? Now I want the charm side of the room to walk over. You're going to move your seats. You're going to be over here. And I want you to come meet 3 people that you've never met before in your entire life. And you have only 2 minutes to introduce yourself, tell them your name, what it is you do, and why you're here. And I'm going to tell, we're going to start this in 10 seconds. 9, 8, you're going to meet 3 people you've never met, and you're all going to come sit over on this side. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, charm section, shift. Now you're walking over here. That's right. Come on, meet 3 people you've never met in your whole life, and you're all going to stay here, because you're all going to be on the charming section. If you're talking to your friend, you're wasting your time. It's a chance to meet new people. Okay, now everyone is now going to be on this side of the room because this is where the presentation is going to happen. So come on back to your seats.
Schauen wir das mal an. Also ich bin schon lange hier. Wohnen Sie da?
Ich wohne ja seit 3 Jahren jetzt. Ich finde es halt schon.
I just got directed by the fire marshal. Guess what, Mr. Sheriff people? We're all moving this way.
Deswegen habe ich nach 20
Okay, I'm the Pied Piper. So everybody's going to be on this side of the room. Shift now.
Was denn jetzt?
That's right. And sit next to a person you've already just met, but you didn't know before. Try that out for size. Let's stretch our comfort zone tonight. See, you didn't know that part of the whole program here not only is to make money, but you also have an exercise program included. Physically fit, mentally fit, financially fit, it's all good. Come on, come on. Come on. Excellent. So, before I begin to give you more information about this, I just want to ask anybody here in the audience today if they were ever in a position where they could have done something, an opportunity was presented to them, could have been a car, a good deal, real estate, a good price, anything you ever could have done, but you hesitated, you waited, and you missed it. Anybody ever missed an opportunity before? Okay, all right, we need to stop. This is not going to work. You see this word here? Okay, we're going to try to read this. Lioness. Lioness means Y-E-S. So can you say yes?
Yes.
Thank you. So tonight when I ask a question, I want to make sure that you can say Y-E-S, which is?
Yes.
Thank you, great. So, has anybody ever missed an opportunity?
Yes.
Okay, now, you might have said, well, you know, I should have, I did it, but I didn't do it. Well, let me tell you something. Luck is when preparation beats opportunity. There was a great French naturalist. Has anybody ever heard of Dr. Jean Fabre? Anybody ever heard of him before? One guy here in the audience who happens to be the managing director, thank God. Jean Fabre was a naturalist, and one of the things that he did, he had a very funky job. His job was to study bugs. And so he particularly found an animal called a processionary caterpillar. And the processionary caterpillar was called this name because they followed each other one at a time, behind each other. You couldn't figure out who the leader was because they would just follow each other around. So he decided to do an experiment. And he discovered that the food that this particular animal likes or insect likes to eat is a particular leaf off of a tree. So he placed all of these caterpillars in a circle, and he put the food in the center of the circle. And they began to walk. And they walked. And they followed each other. And they moved around. And they followed each other. And they did this for an entire day. And then they continued for an entire 2 days. And on the third day, they dropped in of starvation. Because they, like many people, had confused activity with accomplishment. They had misunderstood the fact that motion is not simply a notion without emotion. They had dropped all their own feelings because they had buried their own dreams because they had decided they were destined to follow the person in front of them. I think that tomorrow there's going to be 24 hours in the day, and there's probably going to be 7 days in the week. And I don't know if anybody here has discovered the fountain of youth, so if you're not getting any younger, it simply means that most of us put between 8 to 14 hours a day into our careers so that we can majestically have 1 or 2 days off of what we call freedom. Now, you're going to hear something about money tonight. Of course, money is a big subject all over the world, and certainly this is the organization that can really challenge you and give you the opportunity to have a lot more of it. But I'm not a person who really loves money, but I love the things it can do for me. You see, for me, I was sleeping out of a car when I was 21 years old, and I had a vision one day I would be a millionaire by the age of 29. And I worked really hard, and then I started working smarter. And then through things like the law of attraction, being able to find other opportunities all over the areas I was in, I discovered one simple truth. And that simple truth was that money is freedom. And the more money you have means the more freedom you have. More freedom to do things for yourself, for your family, to lead a richer life. And I do love the word richer, because richer doesn't necessarily mean I'm depositing more money in the bank. It also means I'm a happier, more fulfilled, passionate person. I want to ask you a question right now. If somebody were to take, right now, an email, send it to you tomorrow morning, and let you know that you lost 20% of your pay, it was cut, how happy would you be? However, tonight, you could have an opportunity to receive a 20% increase or more. How happy would you be then?